In 2009, we were asked to pilot ProjectWise for about 6 months. Austin came down, took us about 2 days. They set us up with training, to set us up with ProjectWise, and then another day to train us. 6 months came and went, and we continued using ProjectWise. It's 5 years later, and we're still using ProjectWise. The San Antonio design group has 3 different in-house design teams. There's about 30 total in all, plus our district's landscape architect who uses ProjectWise. All of our projects since 2009 have been in ProjectWise, with the exception of recently our New Braunfels office. They've had severe network issues lately, so they're unable to use ProjectWise for all new projects. They've had so many issues that they've encountered with the network that they're unable to produce, so they've had to come out of ProjectWise. So within ProjectWise, we've developed about 133 PS&E packages. The projects that we've completed have been of all different types, scopes, and cost. We've developed smaller overlay projects to larger urban projects within the 12 different districts that the San Antonio district serves. We use ProjectWise to store our MicroStation DGN files, Excel calculation files, our meeting notes, plan submittal and review comments, survey data, anything and everything that has to do with the design project, we're able to store it in ProjectWise, which is really nice because we don't have that ability with our T drive anymore. I've personally even used ProjectWise to store consultant managed correspondence in there just because it's an additional place that I know is secure that I can keep all that data in there. For each project that we do in San Antonio, we have a standardized file management system that really helps with ProjectWise. We standardized it so that each person on the team knows exactly where everything's at. The San Antonio District File Management System is a specified arrangement of folders and files that each designer is familiar with and they adhere to. It provides standardization of design and correspondence files so the team can work effectively in one central location. So once familiar with the file structure, the designer can produce files and they end up in the same format at the end of every project. It really helps whenever resources have to be shifted because if you take one designer off a project, they have to move on to another. The next designer can come right in, pick up right where that other person left off, so it's very efficient for us. The San Antonio group also rotates many young engineers through the design group. So say a designer or an engineer goes through the design group and they learn our FMS system. If they move on to construction and say there's a field change order that they have to do, it's really nice because they can grab the files that anyone's done within file management, pick up, and it saves a lot of time, so it's really effective in that manner. So before ProjectWise, the old process was using the T drive, which everybody loved. You click on a file, the file opens up immediately, everybody's happy. In ProjectWise, it's a bit more complex. So we click on the same file. The data then has to be routed to Austin, to the routing integration server and database server, which are both located in Austin and they have to be located together. Then the data has to travel back up to the San Antonio caching server. After that, then it comes back to San Antonio's, the workstation. So yeah, it does take quite a bit of time to get through that cycle, and with network issues, it's not always the best. So, as the pilot district, we've had the opportunity to test out ProjectWise for a good amount of time, and we face some rough patches, but we know that there are efforts underway to help us in this. So when we first started working in ProjectWise, we could literally click on a file and probably wait about 5 or 10 minutes for the file to open up. People would, get up, go grab a breakfast taco, come back, and the file was still opening. I mean, it was pretty difficult to deal with, but we dealt with it. Users have learned not to touch anything when the computer's thinking. We get a little spinning circle, and people just leave it alone because if you touch it, it may end up crashing on you, and you may end up losing data, so we just leave it alone. Printing in ProjectWise is pretty cumbersome. We still use the batch print process, but because of the time it takes for ProjectWise to route all that data, it takes quite a while. So we've had to extend our design schedules to add some time in there just for printing. So we've learned how to deal with that. In addition to the slowness, we get a lot of error messages, and we don't quite know what's causing them. We can never recreate the scenario. We'll talk to Bentley, we'll talk to NTT Data, but we can never get it to crash on us the same way it did. So it's kind of frustrating, but we deal with it. If you want to attach an email or a file to an email, you can't just grab it, attach it, and go. You have to export the file and then send it. So it's not a huge deal, but it's just another one of those small things that we're not all used to. You can't run various design programs in ProjectWise, such as your HECRAS, FPS21, HY8, those types of programs. You still have to work outside of ProjectWise and then bring your data back in. So like I said, not a huge deal, but it's just another step that we have to do. So when you first open a file in ProjectWise, the file's data is downloaded onto your local machine. So when you close the file, you have to check it in, and all that data goes back through the previous slide, the little route that we had. When you open that file again and say you make one change to a line and that's it, only that data goes back into ProjectWise. So then opening up the file the next time, it's a lot quicker when the files are cached on your machine. If you clear those caching files, then you have to go back to the 2-minute, 3-minute opening. What we've learned, if you don't clear your caching files, you may actually end up using older files. So we clear our caching files basically daily because we don't want to be using old files for our design. Since we've been using ProjectWise for a while now, we've had a lot of hiccups, but we've worked through them. NTT Data, Bentley, everyone's been there for us to help us get through and find workarounds in the meantime. We know that there are solutions hopefully coming up on the way. So the issues that we faced, like I said, we've communicated with NTT Data, Bentley, and Austin so they can ensure they address them prior to it going statewide to all of you guys. Before ProjectWise rolls out statewide, they plan on pursuing a comprehensive network upgrade program across the state to increase bandwidth. In the meantime, short-term LTE solutions are also being pursued. As far as the software itself, IT is planning on using an updated version of ProjectWise, which will resolve some of the technical issues that we have. They also are going to launch additional pilots, as Brent mentioned, in Austin. So ProjectWise is not all bad. Other than the network and technical issues that we face, ProjectWise, it is very useful, I will say that. Since we work in teams, ProjectWise offers a secure location for us to store all of our files. We can't use the T drive. I mean, we know files can be deleted, they can be modified, so ProjectWise is a very secure place to put all of our information. It also allows others to see, others work in real time. You're not having to send files to each person. Everything's in one central location. In ProjectWise, we're also able to grant specific access to certain people. So for example, if someone wants to see a project that I've done, as an example, I can grant them access and they can go through the files and I can give them read-only rights, so I know that nothing's going to be modified or deleted. So it's nice having that peace of mind, knowing we can give the files out to whoever wants to see them. Individual designers don't have files with their own work. We work as a team and we share as a team, so it's nice to have that location where we can do that. ProjectWise also allows each user their own accountability. We've provided the space and the location to do all the work. Everybody has knowledge of the FMS system, so they can proceed and they can take accountability for the work that they're supposed to do. So, in conclusion, ProjectWise has been an effective work-sharing program for us. We've continued using it after the 6-month pilot because the advantages have outweighed the disadvantages. So we're definitely looking forward to the upgrades within the system. Since we've been exposed to some of the tougher times with ProjectWise, we're really interested to see the technical issues being resolved, and we're hoping that our experiences will help the rest of the state whenever it does roll out.